What's up, you guys? It is that time again. We are back in the building with another episode of Dynasty Queens. Hey, girl. I'm with my beautiful co-host.
Pamela, Nicole. What's up, y'all?
You guys, we have such a really cool guest in the building with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please get a little round of applause for Miss Chi Chi? What's up? Welcome to Dynasty Queens, Chi Chi. So, for those of you who are not familiar, Chi Chi, go ahead and give us a little bit of background about yourself. Tell us about where you came from and what is your claim to fame.
Okay. So I'm from New York, Brooklyn and Queens. I used to be in the music industry, underground music, and then from there, rapping. I moved to Houston first, and I was signed to Sucker Free, which is Lil Flip's label. And then I moved to Atlanta, and I was doing all these rap videos. And I'm very petite. You can't see me. I'm only 5'2". But a lot of these ladies that modeled were so tall and stuff. And when I was in college, in high school, I played basketball as a point guard. So I was like, y'all don't play basketball or something? Because, when I came to Atlanta, everybody was on the pole. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, y'all got to do something else, right? And so I organized a basketball league. I had about 10 teams. So I had like the pink team, the purple team, the green team, the yellow team. And I had like this big tournament with DJs and celebrity rappers and everything. And everybody just loved it. And it blew up from there. So it's called Models Basketball League.
Wow.
Okay. That's what's up. Now, you did touch base on Houston. Me and Nia are actually from H-Town. So that struck a chord with us. It's like, tell us about your rapping in Houston and like your, your roots in Houston as far as like rapping and who you've worked with and everything.
Okay, cool. So I will tell you this. I came from New York. I came from New York. Hump Hops from Sucker Free came to New York with Flip, and I was like, I need to get on a label. I want to get on a label because I actually was out with Trina and Floyd Mayweather. They had they did the 8 Mile event when 8 Mile first came out with Eminem. This was in Puerto Rico. 50 Cent was there, Lil Kim was there, and I met Trina. She was like, listen, you got to get on a little label. Find an independent label. And so when Hump came, I was like, voila, you're an independent label. And he was like, all right, cool, come to Houston. Flew me down there. I went down there. I was like, oh my God, look at these houses. They're huge. I was like, how much are these houses? They was like, 100. I was like, 200,000? Stop lying. Because a house like that in New York would be like 800,000. You know what I'm saying? I was like, stop lying. Yo, they had horses on the highway. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm like, there's a horse on the highway. That's funny. Yo, the food. Oh.
Yes.
Let me tell you, yes. I was 115 when I got to Houston. 115. No. I probably was 110. Let me stop lying. And I sat there, and them girls out there, I was just like, well, damn. I'm like, how y'all got so big? And they was
the food, baby.
Sugar in the beans. And I was like, y'all put sugar in y'all food? Oh, no. They was eating biscuits. I was like, y'all eat biscuits?
Wait. Y'all don't eat biscuits in New York? Please enlighten us.
Okay, this is what we eat in New York. We eat Chinese food. We eat Jamaican food. We eat Spanish food. We eat Greek food. We eat Italian food. So nobody don't really got time for biscuits. Because by the time you finish eating all that, you don't have time for the biscuits, okay? Like, not so it's probably there, but trust and believe, okay? When you eat some rice and pollo and stuff, you're not thinking about a biscuit, okay? So when I got down there and I went from 110 to 115 to 120 to 125, I was like, and then everybody was sipping the lean. This is how they want. Let me tell you something. And they said, yo, shawty, what's up? And that's me. Wow. I'm like, huh? What'd you say? Hello? Yo, I never forget. I think one time I went on a date. This guy took me to the hood. And I was just like, I looked around, I was like, take me up out of here. He was like, why? You from the hood too? I said, yeah, but I'm from the hood in Brooklyn. Not a guy Houston.
Right.
Take me up out of here because my license and driver license don't say Houston yet, and I don't need no problems. I don't need nobody pulling me over to my, oh, you came from New York, you brought something down. No. Get me up out of here. But I ain't gonna lie, it was a challenge because everybody was on lean and it was hard to understand what they were saying. And then there was a lot of doctors and engineers, and I was just like, and even though I had like, my bachelor's degree and I went to school, I just was like, do I really fit in with them? I don't have my law degree yet,
Of course she fit in, Chi Chi. Of course she
young,
did.
that's how you just feel, And it came time to do the songs. I was doing the songs. I was just like, I'm over here like light skin, cutie booty shape from the light bulb. And they was like, we don't do that. We don't do that. I'm like, but y'all brought me down here. It was so fun.
Right.
Like, y'all brought me down here. And the beats, it took me, I ain't gonna lie, it took me some time because I was just like, it was like jumping double dutch. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You got another track? That shit's not working. But what they did was they got this girl from Memphis, and it's so crazy. It's like we was way before time. They got this girl that came down from Memphis. It was me and her. We was rapping. We was dope. Like we had songs together and everything. It's so crazy. So like when I see Glow, I'm sitting there like, bro, we already did this. I'm like, we did this shit already. And
right.
Oh,
I guess I'll hook y'all up with Home Pops because he got a lot of stories. So a lot of things had happened. I was there firsthand, like right there, and saw things like right in front of my face. So I was like, a lot of things happened.
It's funny because my question to you was going to be explain the culture shock, but you kind of just, delved on in there. And Pam.
Oh, so I will tell you the good thing. So in New York, like in order to open a store, it's super, super expensive. Most stores are like rent $30,000, $10,000, blah blah blah, whatever. So when I got down there, everybody loved so they did like the New York clothes. I was bringing New York clothes down. I was selling it, and I first opened a store in MLK at the flea market. Then I opened another store on. Don't give me the money. But look, I wound up opening 3 boutiques, and I had 3 boutiques. One was in a pool hall. I'll tell you these streets again. It'll come to me. But I had the 3 boutiques. I had shit popping. Everything was going good. And then also I was on a song with Zero. I met Zero. I did some songs with Zero. And then Katrina came.
The infamous Katrina. You know what happened from there, right?
Before Katrina came, right? Everybody swore I was from New Orleans. They was like, "You from New Orleans?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." They were like, "You from New Orleans?" I was like, "No, I'm not." And then when the New Orleans people came, they were like, "Oh, they're not from New Orleans." I was like, "Damn, they're from New Orleans. They're great." It used to be the TV never showed nothing that was going on. I remember I was living in a place. It was so nice and quiet. I go outside, see the nice flowers, the sun, and then the Katrina came. I go outside, be like, "What the hell is all these dreadhead niggas outside?" Oh, hell no. Y'all got to go. We talking about shootouts every day. Everybody was getting robbed. This one young girl, she got pistol whipped. I was just like, They was
wow.
And they.
That's crazy. My experience during Katrina wasn't quite that bad. I was in high school at the time, but yeah, they came in droves from New Orleans, girls, so I can understand. Now, I want to go back a little bit. So you already broke down, your experience coming to Houston, getting exposed to biscuits and lean. That's all that resonates in my brain. It's biscuits and lean. I'm like, dang, that's what she thinks about us, huh? No, I'm just kidding. So let's go back a little bit. So you're growing up in New York. When did you first discover that you had a love for music? Like, what age were you? And then what was there like a significant event that took place where you were like, I want to really tap into this music?
Well, when I was younger, I guess, I don't know, elementary school, I used to like to write poems. In school they tell elementary kids, write a poem. So I started writing poems. The poems went to cheerleading because in junior high school I was a cheerleader. So I started writing cheers. And while I was in junior high school, there were certain girls that wanted radio rapping, and then the cheers turned into rap music. And that's how it started.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to touch base. Nia, she's like, got so much going on. She's got like high energy, we talk about Houston. We
I
talk
like that
about
outfit
Oh,
though.
yeah,
That
I see
outfit
the
is really
orange, and I got the pants too. You see the pants?
yes, girl. It's giving first week of summer for sure. It's giving first week of summer.
You know,
I'm
one thing
feeling
y'all
it.
got down there I never got was those red roaches. Those, I was like, oh, I'm not eating those. Y'all can have that.
You talking about crawfish, girl?
I'm not doing. I was like, they look like red roaches. I'm not doing that. I've never.
They're delicious. They're
I'm
delicious.
never gonna see crawfish ever the same again. Now she said red roaches.
Red roaches, girl.
But I mean, I'll eat some lobster, shrimps, and I just now started eating oysters.
Mm. I would think oysters is the East Coast thing because we really don't do oysters like that down here. I think Pam, you kind of do, but I'm definitely more of a shrimp, crawfish. I love seafood though, but it definitely is a culture thing and where you grow up because we have Creole roots. Here
I
in
just
Houston,
started with the
so.
oysters. I felt like the oysters were like an upper echelon type thing, and I was like, okay, let me
Yeah.
try. Because I'm gonna be honest
Right.
with you, I just went with someone, and it was like $35 for like 5 baked oysters, and I ate it, but in my mind, I'm like. I'm like, yo, they is the things are this little.
Right.
This.
A little morsel of meat. You're like, okay, now
I
what?
didn't.
It's
So I
texture.
wasn't
So it's a texture.
and that was the appetizer. So
Mhm.
just
Oh.
imagine that person bought an appetizer, and I was like, I'll have that too. That's how I used to do it. I would just suggest. I just be like,
So we went from talking about like you writing poems and everything. So we know that you're a rapper and that you've got your league, your basketball league with the models. What got you into film? Because I know that you have a little repertoire of film as well. Tell us about being a producer and
I
writing.
work with Man Robinson Studios. They're actually on Instagram, Man MANN Studio, Man Robinson Studios. He's from Detroit. How I got into it, I actually just got pushed into it. It's so weird. I mean, doing the rapping, I know how to engineer a little bit. I know how to produce just a little bit, from watching, DJ a little bit. And then when it comes to videos, I know how to produce videos a little bit. But when it comes to movies and the film industry, it's not always just movies. They have TV shows, they have documentaries, they have podcasts like you ladies are doing. And he had a documentary department. And before that, I did like a rap video, I did another rap video, and then I had the basketball league, and I'm like, I want to do a reality show. And when he opened his documentary department, he was like, hey, you've been in this rap industry for all these years, you know all these people. And I'm doing these documentaries. I'm doing this one, and I need you because you know all these people. And you'll talk them to death when you go to interview them. So I got like pulled into it. Next thing you know, I was interviewing like CeeLo Green and just people I thought I would never interview in my whole life. I'm like, oh, okay, hi. And you have to ask some weird questions like how you guys are asking me,
Right. So my question with getting into documentaries, because like you mentioned, there's so many different aspects of when it comes to film and production. You have your fictional, your stuff like that, but really pouring into like true real life stories. What was the realest moment you had, like where you had to get down in the trenches to really find out about somebody's lifestyle or the way they were living, and you were like, wow, this is deep. Like I really dived in with this one. Or do you have like a recollection of a time where you really had to?
Yeah. So we do have some NDAs on some of the documentaries. They're not out, but I could just say this. So for example, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with Puff Daddy, with sexual behavior, domestic violence, and things like that. People doing drugs, and so we're not doing that documentary. but there was a documentary that we did where an individual used to be around certain people like that. And, you know, you don't want to really just come out and be like, oh, yeah, so did you have sex with a man? You don't want to be like, oh, you know, did a woman try to, like, did a lady try to feel on you when you was 13? You know, you don't want to say those things. So you gotta kind of like ask questions that build up to it, but then kind of beat around it and do like a reverse psychology. And that's why women are usually probably the best interviewers. Like if you look like at Oprah Winfrey and then that other lady that interviewed R. Kelly and like your ladies, because we're the ones who always asking questions and we know what kind of open-ended questions to ask to get that answer from that person. And you got to dig deep, so I could just say something like, yeah, I was with this guy and you know, a situation I was with this guy and, you know, he put my hand on my leg, but he also put his hand on this other guy's leg. Did that happen? You see what I'm saying? And then now the person would have to, and then the person is like, damn, did she just ask me if I was gay? You see what I'm saying? But I twisted it up where it didn't seem that bad. You know?
Right.
It's like being a psychiatrist.
Right.
You know, women are like, we're like,
yeah, that seems like either psychiatry or some real detective work. That's the kind of stuff interrogations are made of.
it should be.
But it's like, it's also the psychology of people's mind.
When it
like read it,
hire
you know?
women and say, you know, detective work, psychiatrist, because we do it all.
Exactly. We wear many hats. So that's I mean, that's crazy to be in the moment and like really be like, okay, this is the chance to get that golden shot. We may have one chance to get them. This may be a confession. This may be whatever. So how do you feel in that moment when that person's really about to spill the tea? Are you like on the edge of your seat, like, okay, come on? Or do you just like have poker face with it? Or how do you feel when you're about to get that, you know, the tea you need for that story?
So one thing about the tea, you definitely have to prepare. So you got to do a lot of research about that person. It's been time when I had the head producer call me 60 minutes before the show and was like, I need all this information on this person. I need 100 questions. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, Instagram, Google, this, that, and you're researching, and you want to get every question possible. You want to have so many questions because people will beat around the bush, or they'll find something else to say, or they'll do this. And you want to be so focused on, listen, if you got that question that you got to ask, you got to find 10 different ways to ask that question. And if that person won't ask that question, then you can come back later and ask them. But then also, too, it can be a situation where, like, we had one person that was down with, I'll say, like, with Notorious Big. That person was down with Notorious Big. And I knew it was some things that they did not want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, if I slip up and I say this, just go like this. And, you know, I'll pass it, you know. And,
right.
You know, and then sometimes you got to respect people on what their wishes is. You know, I haven't been in a predicament where, let's say, like a Wendy Williams, where it's like, you know, your boss is like, you have to find out who they have. You have to, you know, because then it's like, you got to think. So I'm a little older than you ladies, but so Wendy Williams, she got punched in the face, right, by Angie Martinez. She almost got in a fight with Mary J. Blige. She almost got in a fight with, I think, DMX or a lot of people.
Whitney Houston, a lot of people. We're not that
Wendy Williams.
No, I'm saying Whitney Houston and Wendy Williams got into it. I remember Whitney Houston called the radio station and was like, Heffa, I know you're not doing it. But I was going to bring that up because Wendy Williams is exploitation. So how do you, in the moment where you're doing that really heartfelt interview and you're about to get that really pivotal information, how do you prevent it from becoming exploitive for the person? Or, you know, like you're getting them to really release possibly dark secrets they've never told anybody in their life, not even their mama in there. So how do you, like, I guess, because I was thinking the whole time I'm thinking with Williams, right? Because she is that person who gets in the person's face. She's like, look, I heard you were a slut and you know, she will get right to it, right? So, I mean, it is what it
Right.
is. So, what is that fine line? What does it look like for you?
So, there's two type of people. So with the basketball league, I am working on a reality show, and it is reality
Mhm.
because some people have to tell the reality of their life. And I've had two different type of women. One lady, I remember, she got in the car with me. We were going to a pool party. I never met her a day in my life. She sat in the back and she told me how when she was in college, she was putting on a dildo. She was waking up with a dildo, having sex with the women, and doing all kinds of other stuff, and blah blah blah. And then her mother was also a lesbian. Her mother was dating a man that was really a woman, and it was a lot because I was just like, okay, this is a lot. I thought we were just going to a pool party, And then I was like, this is an interesting story. You could say it on the reality show. She was like, and I'm like, but you just got in the car and you just said all that to me. You don't even know me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I was like, well, why would you say that to me knowing I'm a producer? Okay, that's like you bringing a steak around me and knowing I'm starving. Like, why would you do that? You already told me this stuff. You need to put on a show. So I flipped it to her and I was like, listen, maybe there's younger girls that are 13, 14, 15 that need to hear this and see that you're doing something different now. You're going to church now. You're making a change now so they can have the path. Yeah. And she was still like, no. But anyway, there was another girl that came along with a similar type story, and she gave her story. So we have her film. So my answer to you is that, I mean, unless this person is like Chris Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince, somebody that's huge, there are thousands and thousands of other models, dancers, singers, rappers, actors, actresses. So if you don't get that story from that person, then, hey, whatever, I'll get the next one.
On to the next one.
Absolutely.
Next one. That's a good way of looking at it because, like, honestly, everyone has their own story, like she said, so someone might come along with a more interesting story to tell you.
Trust me,
so
it's out of all, like, if you guys were going to just do singers, there's a whole nother singer with that same story.
Right, absolutely. And it also makes sense too, because what you're doing is you're convincing the person that you're interviewing in this really, what's it called? This moment of them being vulnerable with you as the interviewer, but the fact that you got her to warm up with you in the vehicle before, and you kind of planted it in her head, like, hey, this can help other people that went through something similar. So that way it kind of is more like a healing thing, or more like a healing thing for them in therapy. And it can also benefit the public, which I think when it comes to like true crime and stuff, I know that's kind of off topic, but that's the tactics they definitely use to get the people.
But you know what? I looked at the bigger picture. So as a producer, because you ladies are producers too, I looked at the bigger picture. If this lady doesn't really want to give her story, and then I got a lady that does want to give her story, I'd rather go with the lady that does want to give her story, because now, guess what? If you got to get B-roll, if you got to get another interview, or let's say if you got to do a book, or let's say you got to go on a tour, she's available. Mm-hmm. She wants to do it. And then let's say you got another episode, or somebody else want to bring on a panel or something. She wants to do it. Why go head over heels over this person that's, what they call them, a troublemaker, or someone that's hard to work with? Hard to work with. Yeah. To this person.
Right.
Has like,
that's like there's a Chris Brown, but there's also Usher.
Mm-hmm. You gotta kind of just
right. You could Chris Brown. You could always get from Usher.
That's true too. Yeah. Just find the replacement. Like, okay, we'll just dub them with somebody else. Like, it's not that serious. Has there been anybody in the process of filmmaking a documentary or docuseries where you were like, you know what? We have a lot of content and footage on this person, but for whatever reason, let's just scrap it. And why? If I'm not crying, why? Why would you scrap that footage?
Boy, listen, it's not me, the owner of the film company. Whew. You have to understand, and listen, has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with y'all. But, and this is like this with any business, Any corporation, any business, any America is ran by a president, vice president, a board, and whoever those people are, whether it's you or her or whatever, they all got an opinion. Everybody has, and it could be, I don't like his attitude. I don't like what he said to me. I don't like the fact that he called me 7 in the morning. I don't like the fact that he didn't pick up my phone call. I didn't like the fact that I told him no and he said yes. I don't like the fact that he told me what to do. This might not even have nothing to do with their character or their position in filming or anything. Just because you don't like the person might say, I'm not doing this shit. Period. And I've seen it happen many a times.
That's just business, though, Nia. You know what I mean? Like,
it's politics in everything. Politics are in everything you can imagine.
Or
So.
it could just be a person where I got some ladies that are super, super beautiful. Let me tell you something. When I first started out doing these reality shows, super beautiful, but they have no talent. They have no personality. They don't even talk. They'll go on the camera.
Right.
And you're like, talk up. And they're like, okay. Or you can get some of these ladies or something, like, they'll be at the party and they're like, yeah, blah, blah, going crazy, getting drunk, blah, blah. Then they get in the front of the camera like,
right, exactly.
Yes, Angela.
That's why certain girls go viral. You know, the Krishans, the Jocelyn Hernandezes, the Cardi B's. Like, people are enticed and people are intrigued by people with large personalities because you can kind of, people who do live their lives more, secluded or a regular 9 to 5, they can kind of live their, fantasy through these people they see on the screen. Like, that's right, girl. You better slap her across the head. That's right. You better talk your shit. So it kind of makes sense. It's all the psyche. Really, it is. So
sometimes you gotta cut somebody for the bad, and sometimes you gotta cut them for good, or sometimes you gotta cut them because they're just terrible actors or actresses. And it's a hard thing because you have a lot of like Instagram models that are beautiful, and you're like, oh, she could probably be in a movie. And if you notice the difference between a lot of Instagram models and actresses is totally different. And it's not that many that get the crossover. Maybe like 1 or 2. But the majority, like, let's take like a Nia Long, like you were saying. No, she wasn't a model. She was an actress. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very hard for some models to cross over because they don't talk.
Yeah. It's just the aesthetic. You just be pretty girl. Just sit there and look cute, take them photos.
What's good, guys? It's Pamela and Nicole from Dynasty Queens. Real quick, I'm going to give a great shout out to our sponsor, Shopify. Are you looking to start your small online business? You can go ahead and start today with Shopify. Let me tell you why. They're the leading e-commerce brand on the internet right now. It's taking it by storm. So if you're a small business, large business, whatever kind of business you have, and you have your e-commerce that you need to get going, your marketing, purchases, whatever you want to sell to your clientele, Shopify's got you covered. They do have an easy interface, guys. So if you're looking to do easy payments with clients, just get everything off the ground, easy shopping, whatever you need to do, links, everything like that, they got you covered. It's super simple, super easy to use. So what are y'all waiting for? Go ahead and take charge of your business today and start with Shopify. Hey, Chi Chi, I wanted to go back real quick on your music and just to tell our viewers a little bit. I know you went on tour with Wu-Tang. Tell us about the tour and everything and how that was.
Everything.
Touring with them.
Everything.
Everything, girl. Let us know all the tea. Look, she's giving us interview tips in the moment, Pam. We're like...
Things that pay. So look, what's so crazy? I think it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I used to work upstairs at this university, and the city of Stonecrest had moved downstairs, and they got this new mayor. Was a lady. Her name is Jasmine, and she's an AKA. And Wu-Tang was coming into town, and I was just like, it would be dope if you can give them a proclamation. you know, and they went for it. And next thing you know, I'm getting the mayor with her security going all through this big old concert, watching the concert, going backstage, going on stage, giving RZA the proclamation and going and stuff. And I'm like, I just did this. It was so crazy. But when we went to that concert, everything was like organized. Like it was RZA on stage and that's it. And then backstage it was like Busta Rhymes and maybe like 10 people. And then they had dressing rooms, and everything was locked. Then they had big old tour buses. It was like 20 more tour buses. And everybody had their own tour bus. Then the management had a tour bus and the audio people had a tour bus. And everything was super, super professional, right? Let me take you back 20 years earlier. 20 years earlier. I remember, so there was a guy, if you ever watched the Wu-Tang saga, right? And they talk about the road manager, which is Mook. They're like, Mook, blah, 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 whatever. So Mook is the guy that came out with this group called Protect Your Neck. And I was part of that group, Protect Your Neck. It's like a whole bunch of little rappers. And we went on tour with Wu-Tang. We opened up some of the Wu-Tang shows. I'll never forget this one show. So they drove down to Florida in these vans from New York. And it was like, I don't know, 14 something hours, right? I was in college. They drove all the way down. I remember we went on stage. So you got to think, each Wu member had about 10 friends. And it's like 10 of them. Well, back then it was like 9 or 8 or something. I don't know. One person was whatever. So 8 times 10 is already 80. Okay? And then you got to think, we came, and that's like another 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 100 people on the front stage at one time. And then everybody's fighting. Everybody's arguing. This used to be Raekwon. Yo. I can't hear the music. I can't hear the music. You don't turn the music up. I swear to God, I'm going to come over there and beat your ass down. Yo, it's so crazy. And the thing would come on. The music would come on and people would go. You would think you was at a rock concert. People would go crazy. I remember the one time I got to perform in the beginning, I was so short, and I was rapping. They was like, go shorty, go shorty, go shorty. And I was just like, okay. But it was so crazy. After the party, after the show, we went back to the hotel. You gotta remember, I'm still in college now. I'm still a young girl, right? And I didn't get involved with none of that bull crap that everybody else was talking about. Girl, I was running around that goddamn hotel. These ladies was following me to where Method Man at? Where Method Man at? We want to have sex with him. I was like, sex? Oh, God. Oh. And they followed me all over the place. Take me to his room. I was like, get off of me. I don't know you. You know? And then I used to go through the hallways. I saw the door open and Old Dirty Bastard had an orgy. I was like, oh. He was like, close that door, little girl. Get up out of here. You know.
Oh my God.
Wild. Then I would get there with Raekwon and Ghostface and they'd be like, peace, Earth, peace, Earth, peace, Earth. Okay, this is what you gotta do. Make sure you wear long skirts, make sure you cover up, make sure you don't be around this mess that's going yes, I'm pretty sure I would, then I would tell you the funniest shit, because I was really on some boozy shit back then. When it got time to go and everybody got in the van, I was just like, so I'm going to be catching a plane back. I was like, I got to take on Monday, and I got to be in school on time, and I'm going to be taking the plane, and, and they were like super mad. They was like, who the fuck do you think you are to get on the plane when we all got to take the van? And I was like, I got a test I got to take. So I'm getting on the plane. And then I got on a plane, they got in an accident, they blamed me. They was like, oh, because you wasn't there, that's why we got an accident. I'm like, because I wasn't there, I'm not even a driver. What the
Wow. I mean, that says a lot about your character at that point in time, because you were a very young woman. A lot of girls, or young women would be like, let me take the groupie route and, do what I have to do to progress. But I respect the fact that you were like, nah, this is too much nonsense. You still had your head in school. And you were still able to have your fun too, so it's all about that balance.
Yeah,
so
I would say
I like
it's
that.
so crazy because I've heard the stories. I've seen like the beat down with Puffy and what's the lady's name?
Cassie.
And I seen the part. I know some of her producers, engineers when she was like 17 in the studio. And I guess it's just. I mean, my mother and father were divorced and separated when I was young. I had a babysitter, a nanny, but I guess they just brought me up different because I've never smoked cigarettes. I didn't do drugs. I wasn't drinking. And I was at the same age as she was. I was in the studio when I was 14, 15. I was around big time people too. But
Yeah.
I didn't have sex with anybody. I didn't do any drugs with anybody. And even if somebody presented to me, I would say no. I never got presented to anything, but I would say no. And I would just not be, for instance, I had a homegirl that was 3 years older than me, so I would take her anywhere I went. But I just never got involved with that type of stuff, and I feel like when you're young, if you just don't do drugs and don't just get drunk and know your limits and like, okay, it's midnight, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. I can finish my verse tomorrow. Or,
Right.
It's a situation where guys are like, yeah, so unless you want to get on that song, you better come on over my house. And I mean, I got proposed like that plenty of times, and I just was like, nah, I'm good. I felt like I got skill. I could rap. There's no sense in me having sex with you when I know how to rap. Because if it was a job, like let's say I went to work at Geico or something, I wouldn't have to have sex with the manager to get my pay. No, it's a job, whatever. So I'm not doing it. And
Exactly.
I look at the bigger picture, like, yeah, if I would have did that, would I have been like a Eve, or would I have been a Kim or whatever? But I have to appreciate and love my life that I have now and say that, how do I know that everybody is happy? Because besides the people that I told you about, there was another group that I was in. And in that group today, the other people are not happy. Maybe one person, but the other individuals are not happy. So would I have been happy then? Probably not. Because there's a lot of stress that you go through being. Think about that. As a woman, you in a group with a bunch of men, or even you got your managers or a bunch of men, engineers, producers, and DJs, and most of them are men. And you got to go and do 40 shows every night for the next 3 months, and you're with all these men, and you really think that they're not going to try you? I don't care if that's your manager, your agent, your publicist. I don't care what his name is. That motherfucker gonna be like, yeah, I've been watching you, man. I feel that, they're gonna try. Whether it's a nerd or a hot boy, they're gonna try, and the pressure is there. And then you gotta stay at this point. It goes to the point where I say, there's always somebody else. You know what? If I'm not appreciated here, and you feel like I gotta have sex, you know what? I could always go to another label.
Yeah.
I don't have to be.
And that's every day. That's everyday stuff too, with the labels. That's with the job. If you're not appreciated at your job, go somewhere else where you are appreciated, where they do appreciate your work ethic and everything. Like people feel like they settle down into like this narrative, and it's like, you don't have to do that. You're the one that writes your own story.
Like this is the only shot. And then to be honest with you, sometimes it just looks desperate. Like when I lived in LA for 1 year, and I met so many women. Some of these women didn't even talk English. I mean, and they would do anything, who you know, what you do, blah, 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 blah. They just want to get on. And it's like, sometimes if you're too desperate and you put yourself out there, yeah, you would probably get raped. You probably would get drugs. You probably would get beaten. You probably would get this because you forcing, and somebody's going to take advantage of you. You don't want the wrong person to take advantage,
Right, for sure. Yeah. That is absolutely crazy, but it is the world that we live in. And I know a lot of those women that made those decisions back then to be on the scene or whatever, let me dabble with the drugs. Let me just, screw who I have to get on. I'm sure later down the line, it plays a toll. I'm sure there's PTSD and trauma and a lot of stuff that's internalized, and people are just thinking about their next come up and not how all these bodies can really damage them. And also, I believe that is the true definition of selling your soul in the industry. Like, hello, are you willing to sleep with X, Y, and Z to move up faster than the next person? We all know that because I'm out here in Atlanta. I'm a casting agent out here, so I know how the game goes. And you really have to, be 10 toes deep and be like, no, I got this on my own. So I'm sure you have way more longevity in this industry. So I know that you can attest to that. And it's really commendable. I love how you're able to sit here and talk to us about it. And it's a great representation for other young ladies, like you said, that may be teenage or young women that are coming up that want to, have their big break or want to start modeling or acting or become rappers. And when you're around so many guys, how to conduct yourself. Because also reputation can also destroy you as well before you even get started.
I feel like now it's such a bonus because now you don't even need like all of these people. You got Spotify, you got Instagram, you got YouTube. You get paid for your own advertisement. You don't have to get a guy to promote you. You don't have to get a DJ. If you go to the club and the DJ's like, yeah, let me spend the night with you and I'll play your record. I go to Spotify. Deuces. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you. Because for real, you could be a rapper from home. You got everything is online now. You don't even need this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And they even going back to like, oh girl, and yes, it happened. I mean, think about just to think that you have sex with a man, but did sex with a man that's having sex with another man, and you're there watching, and or you're engaging in it. Like that has to be so much trauma, and like and it's crazy because you got people killing themselves now, people killing other people now, people just doing crazy stuff, and I really think myself personally, I think that there should be some type of bill that's passed where once you get into junior high school, they should have like a sex education class. I'm talking about a real sex education class. They should have a breast therapy class. They should have a class about domestic violence, a class about rape. Because once these boys start hitting up, and trust me, it's even younger than that. They always younger than that. Some of it starts at age 3. But I mean, damn, we don't want to do too much. But once you get to junior high school, that's when their minds start going crazy. And when they get in high school and they start doing stuff, and some don't get caught and some do. But once they get out of high school and they get in college, you already know what goes on. And then once they get out in that real world, look at that one guy that was in the movie. He was the actor, and now he has 50 years for the 5 rapes that he did.
The one in Superfly, yep.
50 years. Crazy. He threw his whole life away for some.
He did.
For some nana. Like it's crazy that one man can be so desperate and so horny, he would just ruin your whole life.
Yeah. And that story is so wild because I know one of his victims personally. So that story is crazy. While he was trying to impersonate being a photographer in Hollywood or whatever and luring girls into a white van and taking advantage of them, like that is insane. What are some 3 tidbits of advice that you would give to any young lady that either goes to Atlanta or to LA to make it, in ways to be on her P's and Q's and look out for herself? Just 3 things that she needs to look out for, like off rip.
Well, the first thing is that you have to, I would say don't take any shortcuts with anything. Anything that you do would have to be a franchise. So, for example, if you're going to stay at a hotel, a franchise hotel. If you're going to go to a restaurant, a franchise restaurant. If you're going to go to a party, a club that's well known. You're just not going somewhere off the limb. Like you never heard of this place before. Nobody's ever heard of this place before. You want to go a place that people know. Because like you said, some people put up a front. Some places you go may not be real. Some places may be fake. And people do a lot of stuff like that. And then plus, wherever you're going, you want to tell people whether you're... I know sometimes it feels weird. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I used to go on trips and like, I want to call somebody like, yo, I'm going to Miami. Like, that feels weird, because you like, I'm a grown woman now. I don't want to do that. But find something that you can text and just be like, yeah, I'm going to Miami. I'm going to be at this address, or I'm going to be at this place, or I'm going to be somewhere. Or text it to yourself, or text it on Instagram. I don't know. Just make it known so that way people know where you are and where you were going and what's actually happening. So that way you just don't disappear and nobody's like, oh, I thought she was home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the next thing is that, I don't know, I've never, ever had anything in my drink. None of my friends ever had anything like that. I've never had anything in my car door. I never had nothing like that. But people say it does happen. So on that note, before you get to wherever you're going, you need to eat, drink before you get there, and that's what you need.
Mhm.
You don't need to have nothing when you're there. You need to act like you're at DMV waiting on a line and you can't get nothing to eat and drink. Because if this eating and drinking is the repercussions of you probably getting raped and falling asleep and someone dragging you out of there, listen, I won't be drinking that. Listen, you know what I'm saying? I just won't have a drink. I need to be alert and be on my P's and Q's. And I mean, you know, you can, if you feel comfortable with a stun gun or a pistol or a bat or one of those little spray things or something like that, get that too.
A taser.
Or you
Yeah.
might get up and be like, pum, pum, pum. What?
Yeah. For real though.
Yeah.
But I think
that's crazy.
I think you just have to be like 100% like clear open. Oh, we have a guest in the house.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. I love it. You know, and like another stressful thing too is like in a situation like I know like for me, I don't really partake in that scene anymore just because I'm so paranoid and I'm so cautious of my surroundings.
Yeah.
But sometimes the girls I'm with, they're like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna go walk over here and you just leave your drink.
Mhm.
But I'm so cautious. It's stressful for me because I'm the one watching your
Right.
drink.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too much stress. It's just like you have to be so aware of everything around you this day and age, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. Because the spiking of the drinks, that's a real thing. Like that happens
I'll
all
give
the
you an
time.
example. There was just a pool. What was it? Memorial Weekend, right? That just passed, and then a friend had a pool
Yeah.
party. A lot of older people there, and I invited this one girl, and she invited some other girls, right? And I was going there and inviting my homegirl, and I told them that me and my homegirl were going to leave after the barbecue to go somewhere else, and they said they were going somewhere else. So when it was time to go, I was like, "All right, I'm out," you know, and I got ready to leave, and they left, and the other girl's friend got drunk. So she was drunk on the lawn. And I was like, all right, I gotta go. You know, I don't really got time for this right now. And they left her there. And then my homeboy kept calling me. There's this drunk girl on my lawn. What are you gonna do? I'm like, what am I gonna do? I didn't bring her. He was like, yeah, but you put the girl, that girl. I was like, OMG. I was like, that's way too much for me. Way too much. So I called the girl. And it became a big thing. And I'm just like, damn, man, that's crazy. And then I spoke to the girl and I'm just like, come on now. We just got to do better. I'm like, listen, either you shouldn't have brought her or either she shouldn't have got drunk or that's why now when you see people at parties and they be like, do not bring a +1. Because of stuff like that. You know, it's crazy. I went to another event and they was blowing up my phone like every 5 minutes, FaceTime and everything. I couldn't even enjoy myself. And I'm like, this is crazy. I don't even know that girl. I don't know.
Right.
They put the police on the phone. Let me tell you, the police was looking for her and everything. And I'm like, I don't even know that girl. Well, why would you come out and go to somebody's barbecue that you don't even know and get drunk? And then she was like, I wasn't drunk. You was drunk. I saw you.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like, you know what, though? I'm going to be honest with you. America is a big place. In the Germany, let's think about Milwaukee, Arkansas, Kentucky, a lot of people come here. And some people, let me tell you, whether they like it or not, some people just like, I want to get drunk. I want to have sex. I want to get pregnant. I want to come up.
That's true. And you know what they say? You cannot save everybody. We cannot all be Captain Save.
I'm saying some people are like that, and that's what they do. You know?
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying for the rest of us out there, unfortunately, you know, as grown people, grown women, it really should not be our responsibility to be Captain Save a Hoe in every situation. We have to be responsible. First and foremost, we have to be responsible for ourselves. Hello, can I get an amen? Okay.
Amen.
Man, such great information, Chi Chi, that you've been sharing with us. Like the wisdom, it's scripture, but it's like street code scripture. And I appreciate it. Is that how you feel too, Pam? It's like reading that street code scripture.
she's giving me a refresher course. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like,
Exactly like how the game goes. Like, this is what we're doing. But I like it because you come from like a tough love perspective. But I can tell you have so much love and so much joy inside of you, and you've experienced so much, and that you just really love to share. So I thank you so much because we've had so much fun talking today. And I know we're going to do a part two because we have to follow up with you and see what's going on. So for everybody that's watching, Chi Chi, go ahead and share where they can find you, like on your socials and stuff.
Okay, so my Instagram is Justina, Justina Chi Chi. It does not stand for Chicago. It stands for Chinyere, which is half Nigerian because I'm half Nigerian, half Irish. Okay. And the Models Basketball League is Instagram at Models, MODELS Basketball League. And we just finished having a mansion basketball pool party basketball game. And people are like, it's the basketball game over here and the pool parties over here. No, it's all together. One mansion, one pool party, one basketball game all together. So you can go on the Instagram, see those videos. I'm working on a reality show about these girls that play basketball and the life after basketball. So that will be coming soon, hopefully in the fall, something like that. So if you know any other girls that are athletic or that are models or just love basketball or date a basketball player or play basketball or whatever, maybe they got a booty that shit like a basketball. Tell them to call me. I will be in H-Town. I don't know when, but I'll come. Definitely probably not now. It's probably too hot out there. But I definitely want to come and see y'all. And I love Houston. Houston has the best food. Well, no.
Well, we have to link up. I'm moving back to
the best food
Houston.
that comes to Houston. I'm sorry. Because y'all don't.
That's true. That's absolutely correct. It's New Orleans, and then I'm gonna say New Orleans and then Houston. I've never been to New York, but I'm gonna say New Orleans and Houston.
Well, in New York, we have Greek food,
Oh,
and we got the Dominican food, and then, so we got the different cultures.
Variety. Yes, ma'am. I love it.
But yeah.
Well, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification right here at the bottom so you can stay up to date with our latest episodes. Chi Chi, girls, honor. And of course, like Nia said, we got to do a part 2 and catch up with you in like the next 6 months, see what you're up to.
That's the logo right there, Mom.
Love it, girl. That is so cute.
Maybe we could do a game out in Houston.
Yes.
Oh, and I have some songs with Zero. If you ever go online, you'll see it's Chi Chi with Zero and a couple other people from H-Town. Young Red, was it Truth? What's his name? Truth?
Trade the Truth.
But they still bang though. They bang. Talking shit. But all right, well, it was a pleasure with y'all. I hope that get to see y'all in Houston later.
Yes. Pam, you want to close it out real quick?
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Dynasty Queens this week. And of course, thanks Chi Chi for being on the show. Of course, I am Pamela Nicole, and I got my lovely best friend,
Nia J, baby. Don't forget it.
Hey, and this is Dynasty Queens. See ya.